Shalom. Call her Lord Allah Yahweh by Shema Shah, which means all praises to Yahweh, which is the true name of the Heavenly Father, who you people in the world can call God, by Hashem, in the name of Yahweh Shah, which is the name of the only begotten Son, who you people in the world call JC, Yahweh Shah. Once again, the true names of the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son is Yahweh by Shema Shah. Shalom also to you Akim, you brothers that's pushing and spreading this word throughout the four corners of the earth, who's also uplifting their names, Yahweh by Shema Shah. Shalom to you Akim. Shalom also to the Israelite foreigners, the speckled bird, man, and the child whose bloodline traced back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, all forefathers, though you may look like the heathen nations you're scattered amongst. Which the heathen nations, as you see on the chart, the nations starting from 2 on down, those are the heathen nations. Also, if your bloodline, your lineage goes back, hold up. Alright, hold up. To these people, as you see on this chart, through the man. And if your spirit bear witness with this word, this truth, you can receive it to the speckled bird. Man, when the child, this does apply to you, you are Israelites, though you do look like the heathen nations just scattered amongst due to the scattering of these people in this chart. So you will have Israelites come looking like the other nations, but they're indeed Israelites because they're under the curses of Deuteronomy 28, the 15th verse to the 68th verse. The spirit bear witness with this word that they're the sons and daughters of Yahweh by Shema Shah. And their line, their lineage goes back to these people through the man, no matter what they come looking like. If their father's an Israelite, that makes them an Israelite as well. Also to the few Aqua, few like sisters that do listen, learn, believe, have respect towards your husband, Shalom. To the elect of Israel, Shalom. To so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, once again, you combine, consist, and make up the 12 tribes of Israel. You are the Hebrew Israelites, your chosen people of the Most High Yahweh and His only begotten Son, who the world calls JC, Yahweh Shah. I'm going to play the clip. All right.
District is giving teachers raises with solar energy? Sit tight. The show starts now. The world according to Jesse.
Hi, I'm Brigida Santos. For our top story today, the U.S. has increased its share of the global arms market by 5% since 2015, according to a new report by the Stockholm International Peace Research Institute. America was already the world's biggest arms exporter, but it now dominates 37% of the market, and since 2016 has supplied major arms to 96 states. That's more than any other supplier. 47% of all U.S. exports have gone to the Middle East, which saw the largest increase in arms imports during that period. Russia remains the second largest global arms exporter, but its market share decreased 22% between 2016 and 2020. International arms transfers are currently close to the highest level since the end of the Cold War. Jesse, demand for weapons is growing in the Middle East. Saudi Arabia is the world's largest arms importer, and it saw its arms imports grow 61% since 2016. Saudi Arabia.
And why is that? Because the United States is supplying army, them Saudis, all right, with them weapons. Because for that oil that they have, all right, it's the protection from the United States. And you've even seen with your boy Biden, he said that he was going to cut that off eventually. You know, he's going to cut that off. We don't know how it's going to play out. But the point is, U.S. dominates the global arms market, man. All right? And it's not a coincidence, you see? Because who's ruling the U.S.? All right? The elites, but start really chiefly with the Edomites, so-called white man. And what was his blessing? And we're going to get into that. We're going to let her play a little bit more.
Arabia is America's biggest customer, accounting for 24% of all U.S. arms exports.
Well, I'll tell you, Brigida, it's a sad state in this country that the military-industrial complex has taken over our businesses because we no longer manufacture things like clothing or furniture or any of that. We've outsourced that to China, to Europe, to all other Mexico, countries, all Canada, everybody else. Our major focus and what we export the most of in the United States of America today is weapons. Weapons that kill people. And who's our number one customer? Saudi Arabia. Now let's remember, these are the people that killed Adnan Khashoggi, enticed him in, murdered him, dismembered his body, and still nothing happens to them, I don't think. And yet we continue to sell them weapons. I'll tell you, why don't we just be honest about the whole thing and say it's blood for oil? Because that's what it's always been in the Middle East. Blood for oil. The only reason we care about the Middle East is because of fossil fuels. Now, as we move away...
Exactly. All right. Well, let's get into it. All right. So there it is. Which is not, like I said, it's not surprising. We all knew that the United States was dominant when it comes to the global's arm market, weaponry. All right. But let's go into it in Genesis 27. We're gonna start off with that. All right. Genesis 27. Well, actually, let's get this first. It's going to sound similar. Let's start off with Revelation 6. All right. Revelation 6 and 4. It says, and there went out another horse that was red, which that red horse, anybody that's new, all right, synonymous, all right, with a nation of people. It's synonymous with Esau, which is Edom, which Edom is what? Red. All right. If you go into Genesis to the 25th chapter, it goes into the description of how Esau came out red all over like a hairy garment. So that's what it was talking about. It says, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another, and there was given unto him a great sword. All right, a great sword. Sword being a what? A sword is an instrument of death. All right, his media. All right, all his weapons, his military. Okay, all types of weaponry he creates. All right, that was given to him, and it goes like, that's what I was about to get back to that blessing that he received. Esau received. All right, but the point is that it was power was given to him, because we about to get it. All right, to take peace from the earth. So how he was going into how it's not about, the people over there in the Middle East. No, it's not. All right, it's clearly what? About oil, resources. All right, basically more dominance, control. All right, Genesis 27, and let's get to the point. In 38 or 37. All right. It says, and Isaac answered and said unto Esau, behold, I have made him thy lord, and all his brethren have I given to him for servants, and with corn and wine have I sustained him. And what shall I do now unto thee, my son? All right. Because what happened was Jacob, which is the forefather of you so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans, the progenitor, all right, he basically supplanted Esau of the blessing, which it was our blessing and our birthright to begin with, but it was set up this way to make the controversy between Jacob and Esau the way it is. All right, but he had just been supplanted the blessing. Basically, Jacob got the blessing. So check this out. It says, and Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth, and of the dew of the heaven from above. What did it say in Revelations, the 6th chapter I just read? That and he was given power to take peace from the earth. Well, right here, Esau was given the fatness of the earth. All right, that's why they have everything. That's why the world Federal Reserve note is what? The U.S. dollar. Who facing the U.S. dollar is the so-called white man, Esau. All right, and by thy sword, all right, which is instrument of death, shalt thou live, and shall serve thy brother, which is Jacob, us. And it shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. And he did that. This is why they're in power right now. All right. And Satan shall be loosed out of his prison for a little season. All right. And he shall go out to deceive the nations. That's what he's been doing. All right. But the point is, and by thy sword shalt thou live, man. All right. And this is what they live by, man. That sword, man. All right. And they go. We're going to get that in Isaiah the 10th chapter. Okay. Another way he takes peace from the earth is also by what? Selling, all right, these other nations weapons of death, man. All right, to either use on their people, if that's the case, you know. But this is him, all right. But let me see. Let me actually go back to the video a little bit. We're gonna come back because I want to see if he pulls something out. So,
away from those fossil fuels, which I hope we're doing, we will be less dependent upon selling the Middle East weapons so that they can wage war throughout the Middle East and support our economy here in the United States. Why? Because we don't manufacture anything else hardly anymore except weapons to kill people.
The United Nations World Food Program projects that Yemen is headed towards the biggest.
all right, so there it is. All right, we got what we needed out there. But what it let's see something real quick. Two Ball King. All right. Let's go to Genesis real quick. All right. This is Genesis 4 and all right, Cain was Esau. All right. Cain came back as Esau. All right. But point being is, let's go down to just get to the point. Just Genesis 4:17 says, and Cain knew his wife, and she conceived and bare Enoch. And he builded a city and called the name of the city after the name of his son Enoch. And unto Enoch was born Arad, and Arad begat Mehujael, and Mehujael begat Methuselah, and Methuselah begat Lamech, and Lamech took on to him two wives. The name of the one was Adah, and the name of the other Zillah. And Adah bare Jabal. He was the father of such as dwell in the tents, and of such as have cattle. And his brother name was Jabal. He was the father of all such as handle the harp and organ. And Zillah, she also bare Tubal Cain, an instructor of every artifice in brass and iron. All right. And what would you use brass and iron for? You could use brass and iron for plenty of things. Building houses. All right, but what? Building weapons. All right. And let's get the definition of Tubal Cain.
Go Strong's H8423. Tubal Cain. Tubal Cain.
All right. Tubal Cain. That will be brought of Cain. All right. Says the son of Lamech by his wife Zillah, and the first worker in metal. All right. So what do you think he did? He made weapons, man. And check this out. All right, because these Edomites come in that same spirit today. All right. And Tubal Cain was really your first gangster rap, if you want to put it that way. You know? But let me read it again. Genesis 4:22 says, and Zillah, she also bare Tubal Cain, and instructed of every artificer in brass and iron. And the sister of Tubal Cain was Naamah. And Lamech said unto his wives Adah and Zillah, hear my voice, wives of Lamech, hearken unto my speech. For I have slain a man to my wounding, and a young man to my hurt. If Cain shall be avenged sevenfold, truly Lamech 70 and sevenfold. All right. So he was boasting, okay, on how, you know, these weapons that he make. All right. He goes and he kills his enemies. All right. He destroys his enemies. And that's the same thing these Edomites do today. All right. They boast in their weapons and they destroy their enemies with it, man. All right. And he said, if Cain be avenged sevenfold, truly Lamech sevenfold, because these Edomites never think they're going to be punished, all right, for the destruction that they've caused, man. And real quick, Isaiah 10, actually, let me see if I get Psalms 10, right? You see? Hold up. Let's get Isaiah actually. Alright? That's Esau's blessing though, man. He trusts wholeheartedly in that sword. Let me see. I'm gonna start at. Alright, let's get to the point. I started Isaiah 10 and 5. It says, "Oh, Assyrian, the rod of my anger." Esau is that modern Assyrian, because the Assyrians, they were not only known for their powerful military, but they were also known for having, the best of weapons. All right. Also known for having what? The tribes, the northern kingdom, mainly the northern kingdom, in captivity. And he's coming in that same stead. And the staff in their hand is my anger, indignation, Salakia. And I will send him against a hypocritical nation, against the people of my wrath will I give him charge to take the spoil and to take the prey and to tread them down like the mire of the streets. All right. And that hypocritical nation that he was sent against, that he went against, was our nation, because the Lord got fed up with our people in their hypocrisy, man. All right, the Lord will put us into captivity. Jake will cry out and say they're sorry and they repent. They won't, go and worship these other gods. They're not doing this and doing that. And then, all right, they'll be released out of captivity. All right, the Lord will be at one with us again, and then Jake will turn around and do the same thing. All right, so he sent you devils against us. You come in that same stead as the Assyrians, as he did the northern kingdom at that time, because the northern kingdom, they was heavy into the idolatry. They were doing all types of wickedness. All right. It says, howbeit he meaneth not so, neither doth his heart think so. Because the Lord's controlling you. Just like it said, the earth in Revelation 6 and 4, and the sword was given. All right. He was given power, Salakia, to take peace from the earth, man. But it is in his heart to destroy and cut off nations, not a few, man. That's in his heart, man. That's in their DNA, man. All right, that's in their makeup. That sword, man. You see? That's what he does. He cuts nations off, not a few. Whether he got to make peace with you, all right, whether he gives you the weapons to destroy, all right, your own nation, and then he comes in and do the rest, all right? This is what they do. That's in his heart, all right? His mind, because that's what that word heart goes back to, your understanding, your inner thought, all right, your mind. It's in his mind to do so with that sword, man, all right? So it's not a coincidence that he does that, you see? And let me see if I keep going. Phone froze up on me. All right, there we go. All right, because he was talking about, it was, let me replay it because I want to butcher what he said. Let me go back a little bit. All right.
Famine in modern history due to the U.S.-backed Saudi-led blockade on the key port of Hodeidah. The land, air, and sea blockade has been in place since 2015 when the war began, preventing fuel, medicine, food, and supplies from making it to hospitals and aid groups on the ground. Today, roughly 400,000 Yemeni children under age 5 are expected to die if the blockade isn't lifted.
That was too far.
Some Democrats are now that period. Russia remains the second largest global arms exporter, but its market share decreased 22% between 2016 and 2020. International arms transfers are currently close to the highest level since the end of the Cold War. Jesse, demand for weapons is growing in the Middle East. Saudi Arabia is the world's largest arms importer, and it saw its arms imports grow 61% since 2016. Saudi Arabia is America's biggest customer, accounting for 24% of all U.S. arms exports.
Well, I'll tell you, Brigida, it's a sad state in this country that the military-industrial complex has taken over our businesses, because we no longer manufacture things like clothing or furniture or any of that. We've outsourced that to China, to Europe, to all other, Mexico, countries, all Canada, everybody else. Our major focus and what we export the most of in the United States of America today is weapons. weapons that kill people. And who's our number one customer? Saudi Arabia. Now let's remember, these are the people that killed Adnan Khashoggi, enticed him in, murdered him, dismembered his body, and still nothing happens to them, I don't think. And yet we continue to sell them weapons. I'll tell you, why don't we just be honest about the whole thing and say it's blood for oil? Because that's what it's always been in the Middle East. Blood for oil.
Alright, so that brings me what I'm about to read, right? Alright, Isaiah 10, we're gonna go to 13, right? Alright. It says, "For he saith, by the strength of my hand have I done it, and by my wisdom, for I am prudent. I have removed the bounds of the people, alright, and have robbed their treasures, and have put down the inhabitants like a valiant man." With that what? That sword, man. Alright. "And I have my hand have found as a nest the riches of the people." What's one of the riches? That oil, man. Alright. "And as one gathers eggs that are left, have I gathered all the earth. And there was none that moved the wing or opened the mouth or peeped." What did he say? The dude got cut up. He got dismembered, basically. Alright. They chopped him up and nobody said anything. That's right there. Alright. And it says, "And there was none that moved the wing or opened the mouth or peeped." Alright. It says, "Shall the axe boast itself against him that heweth it therewith? Or shall the saw magnify itself against him that shaketh it? As if the rod should shake itself against them that lift it up, or as if the staff should lift up itself if it were no wood." Alright. And that's the Lord saying, man. Can an axe, because what's an axe? An axe is it can be used as a weapon, but what does it do? It chops wood, man. Alright. If you the axe, alright, can you both say I chopped the wood? No. Alright. You need the person, alright, to lift you up and swing you with force and hit the wood, man. See, Esau is that axe that's boasting himself. You see? And the scriptures also say, Psalm 73rd chapter, that pride compass what did it say? You know? I think it was like pride compassed them about. Let me get that real quick. Cause I'm about to butcher it. You see? These devils think they got it all in control. It says, Psalm 73 and 4, it says, "For there are no bands in their death, but their strength is firm. They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. Therefore pride compasses them about as a chain, violence covereth them as a garment." Alright, and that's what I wanted, okay? And that's what it is with this devil, man. I just read in Genesis the 4th chapter with Tubal Cain, man. Alright? He was prideful, man. Alright? He was prideful about how he conquered and kills his enemies, man. Okay? But at the end of the day, let's get what's that the scripture say? He that killeth with the sword. Alright? Let's get that. Because all that energy you put into destroying nations, alright, and taking down nations, that energy, like the brothers say, is gonna come back on you. Alright? Perish with the sword. That's what it was. Alright? Yahushua said that. Alright, let's go there real quick. Alright? So you're not getting away with anything, Esau. You just falling right into your own trap. Okay? You script the world, it's the scriptures does speak, and that's even the worldly saying. You reap what you sow. All that's gonna come back on you, man. Alright, so I'm gonna get to the point. This is Matthew 6 and 50. And Yahushua said unto him, "Friend, wherefore thou come?" Then came they and laid hands on Yahushua and took him, because they was about to deliver him up, alright, to be persecuted. Alright? And one of them, which were with Yahushua, stretched out his hand, drew his sword, and struck a servant of the high priest and smote off his ear. So he cut off his ear, man. Then said Yahushua unto him, "Put up again thy sword and into his place. For all they that take the sword shall perish with the sword," man. Let me read it again. Then said Yahweh shall unto him, put up thy sword again, sword into his place, for all they that take the sword shall perish with the sword. So your blessing was the sword, and what did you do with the sword? You went around and conquered and took down with the sword. So what's going to happen? All right? You're going to perish with the sword, Esau. See, you've been set up by the Heavenly Father the whole time, man. All right? Let's get that. The Jinn show, let me get that. Psalms 9 or 7. All right? You've been set up. That's going to be a downfall. All that energy you put into using the sword against, for one, the Israelites, all right? And even everybody else is going to come back on you. Double, like it says. All right? This is Psalm 7 and 14. It says, he travaileth with iniquity, and have conceived mischief, and brought forth falsehood. Or we're in the Middle East fighting for those people because you got different proxy terrorist groups over there bombing and killing their own civilians. No, it's a damn lie, man. You over there for that oil, man. And not even just the oil, drugs, all right? Afghanistan. Reason why they're in Afghanistan is poppy seeds, you see? And it's even more, man, all right? And that's everywhere, man. Wherever you see this devil is, for one, wickedness is going to increase. But two, all right, he's there for some sort of gain, man. All right? And your destruction. So all falsehood, man. All right? He tells you people in America that we're fighting to protect this country from who? All right? You the one that's playing offense. Everybody else is on defense. You see? But that's going to come back on you. All right? He made a pit. All right? Which is a pit. It's a system, right? And digged it. And is falling into the ditch which he made. And that's what's going to happen. Like I said, all that energy you put into conquering nations is going to come back on you double, man. All right? His mischief shall return upon his own head, and his violent dealing shall come down upon his own pate, man. All right? That's what's going to play out. All this violent dealing you did, all right, with these other nations, the Lord's going to allow these other nations to get their lick back. And he's going to take them down as well. All right? He's going to take... All right, Salaki, hold on. Hold on. All right. All that energy is going to return back. All right, because let me get, I think it's Revelations 18. We're going to get that. All right, let me see. Yep. Revelations 18 and 1 says, I started 1, says, and after these things, I saw another angel coming down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the Great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and the cage of every unclean and hateful bird. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, man. All right, these philosophies, all right, they had to suffer your reign, you know. It says the sanctioning, you know, that's another thing. These nations hate your sanctioning, you know, within her fornication with her, Salakia. And at the same time, they still committed fornication with you, you know. They still, all right, was a part and enjoyed your system, all right, as long as they was eating, benefiting off of it. So they're not off the hook either. But it says, of the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out from my people, you Israelites, so-called Negro, Latino, Native American. Which when it says that, it's telling you to spiritually depart. All right? To not have your mind up in this place, man. Be ye renewed in the spirit, like the scriptures say. You see what I'm saying? All right? Because Yahweh, he's going to come and do the actual deliverance. You see? It says, and that ye receive not of her plagues, for her sins have reached unto heaven, and Yahweh have remembered her iniquities. It says, reward her, even as she rewarded you, and double unto her according to her works, and the cup which she hath filled to her double. And that's what these other nations are gonna do. All right, when they shoot them missiles, man, especially when they go to war with this place. How much have she glorified herself and lived deliciously? So much torment and sorrow gave her, but she has said in her heart, I sit a queen and no widow, and shall see no sorrow. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. For the strong is the Lord Yahweh Shemashah who judges her, man. All right? I keep going. And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and live delicious words shall bewail her and lament for her. And when they shall see the smoking of her burning, stand afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city, Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. All it's going to take for the missiles to do their job, basically to clean and destroy this place, it's going to take 1 hour, man. That's it, to wipe out this whole US of A, man. All right, when the missiles are shot from these other nations, when Yahweh, the Lord, put the spirit in these other nations to shoot, that's all it's going to take, 1 hour. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore. And that's why they're going to mourn. They're not going to mourn, all right, because this place was destroyed. They're going to mourn because they don't have, because America, all right, is not a manufacturing country anymore. It doesn't manufacture anything, all right. What is America known for? A consuming nation. Nobody's going to buy their goods, all right. China, the reason why China is such an economic superpower is because America is a consuming nation. And the majority of the products you buy come from China. All right? You got India and all these other countries that also make a profit off this place. They ain't going to be able to make any more profit because it's going to be destroyed. All right? The merchants of gold and silver and precious stones and of pearls and fine linen and purple and silk, scarlet and all thine wood, and all manner of vessels of ivory, and all manner of vessels of most precious wood, and of brass, and of iron. Because what did it say about Tubal Cain with the brass and iron, man? All right? And marble, and cinnamon, and odors, and ointments, and frankincense, and wine, and oil, and fine flour, and wheat, and beasts, and sheep, and horses, and chariots, and slaves, and souls of men, and the fruits that thy soul lusted after are departed from thee, which was one of the things that they lusted after, that oil. All right? The main thing right now, though, is that New World Order, man. But all these things are going to depart, all right, from you Edomites, man. All things which were dainty and goodly are departed from thee, and thou shalt find them no more at all of thee. All right? No more at all. The merchants of these things which were made rich by her shall stand afar for the fear of her torment, weeping and wailing. All right? And saying, Alas, alas, that great city, that was clothed in fine linen and purple and scarlet and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, for in 1 hour so great riches is come to naught. Every shipmaster and all the company ships and sailors and as many as trade by sea stood afar off, man. All right. Let me see. And cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, What city is like unto this great city? And they cast dust on their heads and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, Alas, alas, that great city wherein were made rich all that had ships in the sea by reason of her causelessness. For 1 hour she made desolate. All right? And let's get Isaiah 47. I'm going to end it off on that, if not. Isaiah 41, Isaiah 47 and 1 says, Come down, sit in the dust, O virgin, daughter of Babylon. All right? America, sit on the ground. There is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans. But thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate. Because it's going to be destroyed, man. And it's already no longer be called tender and delicate now. Because look at all the chaos that's going on in these cities, man. All right? You got them calling New York City Gotham City again, man. All right? Take the millstone, grind mill, uncover thy locks. Make bare the leg, uncover the thigh, pass over the rivers. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered. Yeah, thy shame shall be seen, man. Especially when this place get destroyed, man. Because you devils, you've pushed that America was such a great superpower that can never be taken down. Well, that's going to change when Yahweh shall come back. And I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man, because he's going to come in that great glory, as it tells you in Luke the 21st chapter, man. When you shall see the Son of Man upon a cloud, all right? It says, as for our Redeemer, which that clouds the so-called UFO, the chariots, man. All right? The vessels of salvation for the elect, all right? And the vessels of destruction to you Edomites and the rest of you heathens. As for our Redeemer, the Lord Yahweh Shema Shah host is his name, the Holy One of Israel. All right? Sit thou silent, get thee into darkness, O daughter of the Chaldeans, which you elites. You see? For thou shalt know be called the Lady of Kingdoms, man. And real quick, this happened yesterday, I believe.
The antioxidant goodness in every bottle of Palm Wonderful makes it a potent weapon against free radicals. Your antioxidant superpower committed to protecting you from unforeseen foes. And Palm is super wonderfully delicious. Palm Wonderful, the antioxidant superpower.
Kelly, before we let you go, quick follow. On his way to Atlanta, the president tripped a few times heading up the stairs to Air Force One. Is he okay, first of all, and what's the White House saying? Well, this is one of those catch your breath moments where everyone watching saw the president lose his footing a couple of times going up the stairs there. The White House says this was, in one sense, perhaps caused by the wind. It was just a misstep. He did not require any
So he fell because it was the wind. And if that was the case, then damn you weak. All right? Let's play that back.
Watching saw the president lose his footing a couple of times going up the stairs there. The White
And that's symbolic and that's spiritual, man. Him falling, because what? Sleepy Joe, he's so-called in the White House calling the shots, right? Which is the least calling the shots, but he's in the White House, right? And what is that synonymous with? Him falling, man. No more being called the Lady of Kingdoms, man. All right? And really, the word dominant, right? Because you're dominant in the global arms trade. Let's get that word dominant real quick, because that's going to be over with. All right? You ain't going to be dominant over anything because you're going down. All right? Dominant is most important, powerful, or influential. All right? That's going to end. All right? You will no longer be, all right, the Lady of Kingdoms, man. Which kingdom is king's domain. All right? A king's domain. All right? So, we'll get one more. All right? Dealing with your little arms trade, right? Well, according to these scriptures, because it's not just America. America is just the number one when it comes to the arms trade. But you got all these other countries that's right along with them. Russia. I think China was on the list. All right. Well, according to prophecy, after World War III, all right, these weapons that you're blessed, basically your blessing, which is the sword, right? Let me see. I started Ezekiel 39:1. We're not going to read this whole chapter, all right? But this is Ezekiel 39:1. Therefore, thou son of man, prophesy against Gog, and say, which is Russia, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and I will turn thee back and leave but the sixth part of thee, and will cause thee to come up from the north parts, and will bring thee upon the mountains of Israel, and I will smite thy bow out of thy left hand, and will cause thine arrows to fall out of thy right hand, your weapons, right? Thou shalt fall upon the mountains of Israel, thou and all thy bands, and the people that is with thee, because if you go in Ezekiel 38 chapter, it speaks about Russia basically being the head over these particular smaller nations that's going to team up with Russia to come against this whore. All right? So Russia's going to go down, and if Russia goes down, all right, the rest of them going to go down. I will give thee unto the ravenous birds of every sort, and to the beasts of the field to be devoured. Thou shalt fall upon the open field, for I have spoken it, saith the Lord Yahweh. And I will send a fire on Magog, and among them that dwell carelessly in the isles, and they shall know that I am the Lord Yahweh by Shemashah. So will I make my holy name known in the midst of my people Israel, and I will not let them pollute my holy name anymore. And why are you not going to be able to do that? Because it's going to go into it. And the heathens shall know that I am the Lord Yahweh by Shemashah, the Holy One of Israel. Behold, it is come, it is done, saith the Lord Yahweh. This is the day whereof I have spoken. And they that dwell in the cities of Israel shall go forth and shall set on fire and burn the weapons, both the shields and the bucklers, and the bows and the arrows, and the handstaffs and the spears, and they shall burn them with fire 7 years, man. So all these weapons that you heathens, you have your boldness in, because the scriptures say, that's in the book of 2 Maccabees, I believe, how you heathens, your boldness is in your weapons. All right? But your weapons are going to be destroyed, man. Ain't going to be no more global arm trade, man. The only trade that's going to be done, all right, is you heathens. You're going to be the product, and we're going to be doing the trading. All right? That's also in the scriptures. All right? All these weapons are going to be burned up. And these weapons is what? Esau's blessing. Meaning what? You're going to be powerless, man. All right? You take away that sword from Esau, Esau is powerless. Like you see in that video, man. This is what you see when you take, all right, that witchcraft, all right, and that the sword, all right, that Esau is a master in, man.
Well, this is one of those catch your breath moments where everyone watching saw the president lose his footing a couple of times.
Is this the man? You know, like it says in Isaiah the 14th chapter, that's what's gonna be said, man. Because Esau Esau, you other nations, you're going to be stripped of everything. Just like you see our people, we stripped of everything. We have no defense. All right, we had to go to you for one of all things. Well, this is the same predicament you finna be in. So the 10th verse says, so that they shall take no wood out of the field, nor cut down any of the forest, man. All right, how you driving, you see the wood choppers on the side of the road, he's chopping down trees, getting ready to put up another useless store that's going to eventually go out of business, and then eventually it's going to be destroyed. All right, they ain't going to be able to do that no more. For they shall burn the weapons with fire. All right, and they shall spoil those. Who's going to be doing the spoiling? We're going to be doing the spoiling, man. All right, Isaiah the 30th chapter goes into that. How we gonna spoil you, man? How you gonna become a prey? Because we was a prey. Alright? And rob those that robbed them, said the Lord Yahweh. Alright? And that's why you're not gonna be able to do nothing. Because you're gonna be abased. You're gonna be like the scriptures say. For they shall be a king today. Alright? Let me see if I can find that real quick. It's in Sirach, the 10th chapter. We're going to end it off probably on that. Oops. Alright. Let's go Sirach 10. Alright, Sirach 10. Alright. In 10 says the physician, which a physician, he's a person that heals, that deals with medicine, who's the physician? Yahushua is the physician. Esau is not a physician. He's death. Alright, the harbinger of death. But it says the physician cutteth off a long disease, which is going to be you Edomites. Alright, and he that is today a king, tomorrow shall die, man. Alright? And that's what's going to happen. You nations are gonna go from being superpowers on whatever location you're at to being nothing. All right, let me get that. They're nobles. Let's get that. We're gonna end it. Actually, I'm gonna get this because that's actually good too. Proverbs 8:16. By me, princes rule, and nobles. Who are the nobles right now? The elites of Edom. Alright? Even all the judges of the earth, man. But that's going to end. Alright? Let's get it right here. It's perfect how it was lined up, too. Isaiah 34 and 12 says, they shall call the nobles thereof to the kingdom, but none shall be there. And all her princes shall be nothing, man. Alright? Of this world, man, the nobles of this world, man, they're gonna be nothing because what? They're gonna be in captivity, just like how we in captivity. How our kings, even in Jeremiah, how the king and the people, our people and the king, all of them went in captivity together. Well, it's gonna be the same thing. Alright, it's gonna be reversed. It's gonna be no different. Let me see. Alright. This is Isaiah 24 and 21. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall punish the host of the high ones, you elites that are on high, and the kings of the earth. And not just the elites of you Edomites, but all the elites of you heathens, and the kings of the earth upon the earth. And they shall be gathered together as prisoners are gathered into the pit, and shall be shut up in the prison, and after many days they shall be visited, man. Alright? It says, then the moon shall be confounded, and the sun ashamed, when the Lord, Yahweh Shemashah of hosts, shall reign in Mount Zion and in Jerusalem, and before his ancient gloriously. Alright? So that's what it's going to be. Okay? So call Lord La Yahweh Shemashah. Papukisha, Apa Papo, Apa Papo, Apa Ha Ayapia, Apa Ha Ayapia. Shalom to you, to the few Akwaf that do this and learn. Shalom, Hawad, Hayah, La Yahweh Shemashah, and Shalom.